You think it is possible? Oh, yes. Somebody can give God praise here. Have you ever been terrified? Have you ever been afraid of something that you didn't know what to do about it? I know. Facing our fears is one thing. But facing our fears God's way is another thing. Two explorers who were on a jungle safari, when suddenly and were overwhelmed by a lion, jumped in front of them. They keep calm. The first explorer whispered, "Remember what we read in that book on wild animals. If you stand perfectly still and look the lion in the eye, he will turn and run." "Sure," replied the companion. "You've read the book, and I have read the book. But as the lion read the book, well-armed, enemy bronze helmet, armor, javelin, and boots. Sometimes we fear our enemies because our enemies are well-armed. Can I just say something around this? Do you know the feeling of no need even to make an effort because your enemy is well-armed? Did you watch this movie on this little boy? It's really animation. This little boy that became an ant, and he lived with ants. Can you remember that? Ants bully, ant bully, ants bully. And then he lived with the ants. And then he learned something, that if you work together, you can conquer anything that's bigger than you. And here he was now big again. Remember that story? And here the real bully approached them. And the real bully commands them to do certain things. And for the first time, he stood up and he conquered that bully by facing him four square in the eyes and say, "You might be bigger than us, but collectively we can conquer you." I'm saying, if you don't have faith, you will see the bully bigger than you. But when you have faith, you will know that the one that lives inside of me is bigger than this army facing you right now. I'm really on this first series and this first sermon here trying to get you at a place where you have to go back and think about the areas where God delivered you already from. And when you have that in mind, consider that if God could deliver you from all these other things, He will also deliver you from the situation you're facing right now. There's another strength with the enemy. There's persistence. Goliath's name means splendor. So there's persistence. For 40 days, he will do that over and over. I don't know about you, but let us just be genuine here this morning. Don't you sometimes feel tired of all the attacks of the enemy on your life? Come now, somebody, talk to me now. Don't you at times feel weary because this giant is teasing you for years and years and years? I need to rush in my sermon. I wonder if I love watching people when they share stories. And there was about this one guy. They went out into the waves. He couldn't catch the biggest wave. And he was then on the other side of the wave, and he was pushing deeper and deeper into the sea. And then he asked God to deliver him. And poof, the Lord sent a wave. And the wave pushed him out onto the sand. Poof. And the Lord sent a wave. Poof. And the Lord sent a wave. Who here this morning feels like, Lord, I need, send me a wave to take me out of this thing? Who here feels that I'm in this thing now for 40 days? I feel tired in it. Send me a wave. This month, I firmly believe, so when Goliath attacked, for 40 days, I could see the embarrassment. I could see that they were weary. And I could see on the other side of the Philistines, while one man were busy teasing, the rest were playing cards and drinking because they were comfortable in their victory.